have Edge. Listen, you get what you get. Then you have Edge versus Randy Orton in the last man standing match. So I think the placement of all matches are actually pretty solid.
So we going to your crib?
Yeah. First 10 people in for free. After that, $20 cover and hand sanitizer is a must. Hey, Leo. You scared the shit out of me too, but I ain't moved. You bunch of bitches.
Get a chair.
Chopper Tens podcast. We hold it down. They know what's now.
Yeah.
Man.
We back.
Man, we didn't go anywhere.
So, I mean, we back. We ain't down from Corona.
Nope, Corona ain't get us.
We got Wilkins, Mrblacc, Janelle from the HR best squad. Every single view, no one can take guard. Vision of the crew and stop. All I say, we speak the truth and every single.
Oh, hey, Joy.
I always say hi to our engineer.
Oh, but I saw he knows it's all love.
Nah, we gotta start it off right.
Don't put it in the goddamn.
Nah, we gotta start this off right. Y'all hear this 100 episode?
I can't hear
100 episode, baby. Oh, we on one this episode. Oh, we on one. Talk to him. Talk to him, Jay. We are back, people.
We didn't go anywhere. How funny is it that the one episode? I can't hear myself think. Can you? Oh, like, can you hear it? You said what?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here.
Yeah, we're not back.
100 episode.
Man, under the terms and conditions that were not stowed upon us, but
Corona who?
Corona out here.
Yo, Rana, fuck you.
Like, Rona, I got a piece of my mind to give to you sooner or later. But
fucking up WrestleMania.
Fucking up everything. Not even just WrestleMania. Just
fucking up people's lives.
Livelihood out here. It's just the struggle is real. But we wanted to give everyone that has supported us the last 100 episodes, every viewing party, every outing we've had, all the trials and tribulations from the beginning of the Jabba Tears podcast. We wanted to give you guys this episode because we wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. So
damn right. Damn right.
Regardless of, what's going on in the world, we wanted to give you guys something positive. We wanted to give you guys something to look forward to.
We lit, baby. We lit, baby. I got my Dunkin' Donuts crack coffee.
And as much as these both sitting next to me get on my nerves from time to time, I am blessed to have them both here. We're all healthy. We're all good, for the time being. So I'm thankful that we're able to do this 100th episode with
100. 100.
Everybody can say that they have 100 episodes.
And if you got a problem with us, suck our dicks from the back as I fart in your face, motherfuckers.
I think that's intense.
Super intense. I
think a simple
suck
S&D,
our dicks.
I think a simple S&D
suck
works.
our dicks, niggas. Suck it.
Well,
we back.
See, the Rona done brought out the ignorant out of everybody.
The ignorant been here. The ignorance been here, ladies and gentlemen.
Then he gets all proper.
Hold on a second. We're going to start this. First of all, like Miss Janelle from HR has said, thank you, everybody, for getting us through this. 100 episodes. It's a lot. Yeah. It's been a up and down 2 years.
Damn.
2.5 probably going on soon.
2 and a possible.
2 and a possible. Maybe another one. We don't know what's gonna happen after Rona.
Shit. Yeah.
Shit. But this means a lot to me. Like a lot. Like you. I don't think people understand how much this means to me. Cause these two, Janelle from the HR, Mrblacc, they took a chance. They said, "Hey, we gonna ride with you. I don't know where the fuck we going, but we gonna ride with you." And I want to give a special shout out to my boy, Dirty Dick Leo.
Leo.
And Leo took the biggest sacrifice. Leo used to videotape us and didn't get paid a dime.
No, he did it pro bono.
Pro bono because he believed in what we were doing. And we had a studio, and then we parted ways because Leo got too much going on.
2 kids,
And I had to talk to him like, yo, bro, you got 2 kids, a baby moms, go take care of your life. We can handle it from here. But I want to give a special shout out to Leo, Dirty Dick Leo, Double D Leo, because if it wasn't because of him, we wouldn't be here.
No. So it's definitely much love to Leo. I spoke to Leo actually the last 2 days. It's hilarious.
A nasty ass nigga.
And we wasn't talking about nasty shit. We was talking about life. Because this nigga hit me with I'm about to move to Hawaii. Because he's like, they don't have it. I said, yes, they do, bro. And I sent him an article. Said, yeah, it's everywhere. But
Leo was the backbone for a long time.
Yeah, he was Lord.
Is your host calling you?
No.
What's his name?
No, it's not my host.
Oh, it's Quentin.
That's what we're doing.
Pick up that.
Actually, I am.
Yo, we got Quentin. No, hold on. Wait. Yo, Quentin's. Where you at?
He at home, probably.
Oh. He's in Chicago?
Yes. We'll stay connected, but it won't connect.
Anyways, I did say suck my dick numerous times to the haters. But I also got to tell you, thank you, haters. It was great. You helped push us because we went through a lot these past 2 years. Also, special shout outs to the Black Wrestling Podcast community.
Yes, absolutely.
Gotta give a shout outs to you guys all. 2020 podcast, the mixed tag,
those wrestling girls,
Weed and Wrestling, DDT, Wrestling in Color. There's so many, and you guys have helped us elevate and continue growing as a brand in general. Also, special shout outs to the Jobber Network. Look where we just came from. A podcast to a network.
A podcast to a whole family of other podcasts. So once again, shout outs to Cats and Dogs, so Lawrence and Tatiana and Amanda. Shout outs to Your Sports. So that's Larry, Dre, Matthew, and Talia. And what else?
Took you mad long to say her names on?
I was on pause for a second. And even though Toxic Talk is no longer, look at this one, no longer with us, once again, shout outs to Larry and Sid.
Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Sam, a little busy.
No, we're not doing that. Shout outs to Larry. And that's it. Yo! Get off the fucking phone. We are recorded.
You're on the super live right now.
So this motherfucker right here is in Chicago, interrupted our podcast because he wants a cutie pie time right now. Bruh, get off the phone. You can talk to her later.
See, he checking up on
It's
me.
fine. It's fine. I get it. Get off the phone, brother. We appreciate you
Can
checking
I
on
say
her.
bye?
She's fine.
It's the 100th episode. Thank you. I'll call you back. That's so funny. Yo, because this one, let me tell you about this one. His mom was on a whole cruise, and nobody know. So we've been literally worried sick for the past week.
Is she back?
Yeah, she came back to Chicago Saturday night. And she messaged me this morning, and I was like, I don't know who I'm gonna kill first. You or your child for not telling me you're fine. But she said she was fine. She's just adjusting to the weather. She went to a whole ass Jamaica. So I knew she went to Jamaica. He didn't know where she went. And when he told me, he's like, yo, I'm mad at my mom. She went on a cruise. I was like, wait, cruise? I thought she went to Jamaica. He's like, no, she went on a cruise. I said, oh shit, maybe she went to a cruise to Jamaica. I said, I knew one part. But
oh, by the way, people that are affected by the corona, Miss Rona, Godspeed, man.
Absolutely.
There's a lot going on right now.
I mean, even though it's, some people take it serious, some people don't. But, just look out after each other. And I think that's the most important part. Like, if they are really saying stay your ass home, stay your ass home. If you really have to work, don't complain about working, because right now there are tens of thousands of people that are unemployed right now. So be blessed with what you got. I mean, every day, the past few days I woke up, I'm like, yo, even though shit ain't real, I'm blessed that I still have running water, gas, and electricity. And I think that's the basic necessities that we all sometimes take for granted. So I'm just thankful to have those things. And, and crazy ass roommates, and once again, everybody in Jobber Nation, and everybody in the wrestling community, we've all, I feel like, banded more together in the past few days, whether it's talking about wrestling, and we'll get to wrestling in a bit, because once again, wrestling's the only thing that's on TV. You people that complain about why is wrestling still on, stop
This Is Us is
bitching.
still on.
You said what?
This Is Us is still on.
Yo, okay, so guys, I'm gonna catch up. Because I had to do Grey's first. So I did Grey's Anatomy
Conscious is over.
Monday and Tuesday.
Conscious is done over, son. And it's getting real intense, too.
Exactly.
Okay, no, that's the good thing. So I can watch it through. I needed for it to end so I could just watch it on through.
Oh,
No,
by the
but I
way,
meant,
anybody got any shows that they're watching right now? Because everybody's home. So toss that into the
in the Facebook group.
into the Facebook group right now. Just toss it in there. Shout out to Ray Red. So I see you, brother. That's Battle Club. That's Battle Club fans.
Shout out to
Ray,
Battle
Ray,
Club,
Ray,
yeah.
Hold on. Where should we start? Do we have a script today?
We don't have the script. 100th episode, and it's gonna probably be the most unorganized episode
Why anything?
of the Jobber Series. And I feel like that's okay too, because I feel like we just haven't had a moment to just kind of freestyle and just talk about whatever we want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
First things first.
No.
Let's talk about how I'm gonna keep it a buck. So last night, if we are Wednesday,
Wednesday night.
whenever you're listening to this, Matt Hardy and Brody Lee, both.
Luke Harper.
Yeah, whatever. His name is Brody Lee. Don't disrespect the guy.
Luke Harper.
They both premiered.
Debuted.
I like saying premiere. It sounds more epic.
No.
On AEW's Dynamite. Now, everybody's going hard.
Super hard.
Wait. This is my opinion, and I want to know your guys. I think we're gonna do like a table talk today.
Yeah.
No, we want to talk. It wasn't that much of a big deal to me. It was great seeing Brody Lee there, doing something cool. But it's still the same Matt Hardy. It's no repackage.
But I mean, I guess that's the kind of plus and minus. One thing so of course I was watching, and honestly, I highly suggest doing this during wrestling if you are kind of at home by yourself. FaceTime one of your wrestling friends and watch that shit together. And honestly, it feels the same.
Gay.
So it's not gay. How's that gay? If I FaceTime you was like Yarly or Mrblacc, let's watch wrestling. I won't now because you don't want to watch it with me. But anyway, I was FaceTiming last night.
You wasn't going to FaceTime me before that.
Who, Zuka?
I was on the phone with Zuka. He wanted to watch it with me, so I was like, cool. So we both agreed that we felt, first of all, to debut in like an empty arena just felt like super weird. But the one thing we both agreed, I felt like they should have held Matt Hardy for another week. I think having 2 debuts on the show, I think it didn't leave for you to look forward to something for next week. So like if they would have, if I was them, and because as wrestling fans we sometimes want to book things the way we want to. If I was them, I would have kept it where you had the illusion where the Inner Circle still had the numbers and they still had the advantage. And then next week, I would have then brought out Matt as the 5th person.
I see what you mean.
Instead of having them announce him now, it being 5-on-5. Now there's only thing is the disadvantage will probably be Inner Circle will probably get 2 guys and whatever they do in blood and guts versus it being one-on-one. So that was just my only grip with it. I would have preferred it being hidden for another week. So the next week when I tune in, I'm like, all right, who's the 5th guy? Like what's gonna happen? Now that I know Matt Hardy in it, I'm like, all right, it's 5-on-5 and it'll be what it is, and that's that. What are your thoughts, Mr. Black?
I see what you mean, but I also see it this way. You don't know how bad this thing is going to get. And you don't want someone to sit down right there and you don't know what's going to happen. So
Talking to the mic?
We don't know what's going to happen next week. We are literally living by day.
Absolutely.
So, F it. You know what I understand? They did something new. They did something different than WWE. They had some of the wrestlers betting against the game, hyping up the other wrestlers.
That was by far the best part.
That was cool. That was different. So, I see it this way. Yo, if you don't know what's going to happen next week, literally aliens could come. Literally, we could get the Swamp Thing crew. We get the Street Sharks attacking us. We don't know this. So why not? Every week, you got to make it feel, dang, that was a good finale. You got to make it feel, you don't know what's going to happen. So you want people to go home and be happy.
I still want to be positive enough in a sense where I'm like.
You want to be positive enough. Let me
Correct.
finish. But overall, it's a sense of, yo, we know what's going to happen. and we want people to tune in for next week. Now, Blood and Guts, ooh, Matt Hardy, ooh, let me see how wrestling going to incorporate into this. You don't look at it that way. Take away yourself and look at it from a casual fan.
No, I can see it both sides. It's just
like, take away yourself. And that's what I see with a lot of, like, we have so much anger towards the wrestling business because we put ourselves in there. Oh, we want this, we want that. Nah, that doesn't work that way. And overall, them coming this week, it was something. What else was going to happen? All right, Brody comes out. All right, that's it at the end. Oh, cliffhanger. God forbid, president said that. Everything shut down. And wrestling don't come back until months later. God forbid, Matt Hardy dies because he caught the virus. Hey, listen, it's true. It's
Okay. So he's talking about, like, you're talking about being positive. You're talking about this some dark shit.
dying.
First of all,
Like, goddamn.
it was an overrated type of debut. I'm telling you that shit right now. Y'all going way too hard. Way too hard. It was nothing new. It wasn't fresh. It didn't feel fresh. Granted, the one thing I will give AEW, what AEW did was they are continuing with their storylines. Even what's going on, they're continuing working and they continue giving the fans something. Because NXT was a fucking clip show. It is what it is on that one.
Yeah,
now, and I will give
had their own reasons to do that.
They have their own reasons to do that because
what would you have done?
No, what would I have done for WWE? The reason why WWE didn't have because no hold on because let me finish. AEW, the reason why WWE did the clip show because Full Sail shut down because of the corona. And then the PC Center, I don't know what they're doing with the PC Center right now. Now with AEW, what would I have done? Giving Matt Hardy something new. Because he died in his promos. Remember? The promos that he did, he was put in the coffin. So now you're going to come back, something a little bit fresher, something repackaged a little bit. Yeah, I see the red streak in your hair. You're coming back, something new. Because it's like, okay, we killed you because we all saw the promo. We killed you, put the nail in the coffin, you're done. What are you bringing back? Because you're killing that part of you, right? Now, what the new parts you're going to unleash? Brody, he came back, took a little shot at Vince, a little mini shot at Vince. Cute. And then he comes back into the ring, lights go down, kicks him in the head, boom, 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 old school shit. It was cool. But it wasn't nothing extravagant. You have a great point. When you spoke about how them being an empty arena, it takes something away because there's no pop. We all love that pop. And that adds another level of things.
Right.
But the reason why my issue is, it was just that, like, us as one thing that really bothers me is that dirt sheets ruined everything. We all knew this was coming.
Oh, I don't read.
I'm just saying in general. Smarks ruins everything. Now, with Matt coming back, I will go back and say it didn't feel fresh. It's the same. It needs to be something added to it. I don't know what they're going to do moving forward with him, but you can add something to it now because we've seen it for so many years. Matt is such a creative genius. He could have added something new to it. Granted, it's still early. It's still done. It's still early. We don't know exactly what's going on, but it felt a little stale on my part. It kind of fell a little short for me. And that's just my opinion. Now, what would I have done? I wouldn't have him show up. I'll give him a sign that he's coming because the anticipation will be there, or have him speak or something, but I wouldn't have him show up exactly because I like what you said right there because it adds to the next episode. You are making a great point when you're saying that, hey, you know what? We don't know what's going to happen. It's day by day. But you don't want to think like that all the time. Because Blood and Guts is going to be amazing. We all know that. But imagine him coming out when the day of. Don't show up. Give him a sign that it's going to be him. And then she pops. He comes out. You have a bigger pop right there. Because you're like, holy shit, he really is here. He really is here. And that's my point. That's what I would have done. That's it.
But, I mean, other than that, I do like, because everybody's going to, low-key bitch and moan about how WWE was a bunch of clip shows. But once again, you don't know the reasons why. And, the fact that wrestling is still on, period. Like, I don't give a damn if it was a clip show or a real show. Like, the fact that we can honestly sit here right now and talk about some new shit. Like, the only thing that's going on for sports is right now NFL talking about trades and people getting signing. but this one bowls. Hilarious.
He would be a nigga that like bowling.
He like bowling. He do.
Some Midwest motherfuckers.
I mean, that's all they got.
He probably a baby.
He probably got a big ass
balls.
trophy.
No,
Probably got a
he
big
has-
ass trophy in
he
his
has
crib.
bowl- He has his own bowling ball
probably
and
do
stuff like
tricks off the
that.
walls.
Yeah, like for real.
Also, Dave Chappelle, like,
This nigga here.
Are you allowed to do that?
Probably not. Oh, this was I don't know.
You could
Dave
do a-
Chappelle said that there's A1 bowling, so I believed him.
But regardless, I just think, everybody has to kind of just take 2 steps back and realize, like, this is the one thing that even though, the world is really changing, this is the one thing that we can
How
honestly
you guys
say
holding up?
is, it's day by day. It's weird because I'm never home.
Got something right here.
How you never home?
Because I'm never home. Because we flew back. So shout
Not
out
the
to...
Rona.
So, yeah. Okay. Why would you say
Why,
that?
why would you say
Why would
that?
put
And why are
in
you
the
looking at her?
air? That's just rude.
You be outside all alone. You still do hookah outside? Please say no.
No, I haven't. Listen, this is how my life been the past 5 days.
You want a hookah?
I have a hookah pin in my house, and I have a hookah in my house.
Hey, Vanessa. How are you?
But
Vanessa, I used to go
literally-
to high school with Vanessa.
Oh, hey, girl.
She was
Hey,
the big
Vanessa.
buck girl in high school.
Wow.
Jason Rich, my
Okay.
son, my son John.
Shout out to Lawrence.
My son Dougie. Oh, my son
Anyway.
Chuck Daddy. Oh, Leo's here.
Hey, Leo. But it's crazy. So shout outs once
All my
again
niggas
to
are here.
Montana, Keith, Zuka, Mike,
First of all,
Yaya.
you shout out officially addressing as Jabba
Jabba to the South, but that's like us. But if people don't, if I should say Jabba to the South, no one's gonna know if they're listening who I'm talking about.
Oh, when after this Corona goes down, oof. Yeah, I got something planned.
But shout outs to the
already got
boys
merch from
because me and Danielle from Pretty Hills had went down to Charlotte this past weekend, and I knew deep down in
Shouts to
my
Pretty
gut
Hills.
that this was gonna be the last kind of like turn up because the shit was going, everything was going down. So, but shout outs to the boys for
Still going
just
to Cali, though.
kind of giving us like a really good like distraction. Like we had breakfast, we went to go see Sonic. Everyone, if you have not gone to see Sonic and you could bootleg that shit, go because it was actually really good.
Oh, keep going. Make sure you talk into it because when we do the when we hear the audio back, you barely hear
yeah,
you.
you barely hear you. Like I get text messages from people like, yo, you keep saying talking to the mic, and I'm like, yes, because he doesn't listen. But we did that, and then Sunday we kind of just, me and Danny just kind of chilled out because we were coming back to New York Monday, and I literally went outside for the first time since Monday yesterday. Like I went to Family Dollar real quick, and then I went back home.
Nigga, I've been going outside every day, B.
And
every
then
day,
today,
B. People get Corona every day, B.
I have a
People
fan
get
theory.
Corona
I have a
every
crazy theory about Corona.
don't get us shut
Listen
down.
to this. Listen to this. I think a lot of people like who not really affected by it already got it before. Hear me out.
Well,
Because-
Danny says that she thought she had it because she was on a cruise.
All right. No one else was on a cruise. I'm talking about for us regular folks, still got to work every day, who got cruising money like that.
Well, no, she went on the Jera cruise and she had been sick for like a few weeks. she
Right.
said.
Because literally, I noticed that I was sick longer this year. Before, like, beginning of the year, I was sick a little bit longer. A lot of people was getting, like, sick, then sick again. More than usual. So I think a lot of us already got it before. And now, whoever's now getting it, because you realize every year around this time, people get sick regardless.
I wasn't sick.
I wasn't either.
I was out in these streets and out in these cheeks.
Wow.
You may not be OD sick because they say people and the corona don't affect us young people like that, but we could still
That
carry
doesn't
it.
affect us,
But
original man,
they do
black
not.
man.
They do not.
We don't get
black
sick
man,
out
black
here.
man.
Here we go.
Shout out to Issa Elbra.
Idris Elba ain't sick.
Idris
He ain't sick.
Elba.
Idris Elba ain't sick. Did you say Issa Elbra?
Yeah, like
You said Issa Elbra.
But listen,
Issa Elbra,
I don't know who the
nigga.
fuck that
Listen.
was.
This motherfucker said, hold on, wait, no, we're gonna rewind this. We're gonna rewind
Love
this.
y'all.
This guy said
ignorant as
Issa
hell.
Elbra. It's Idris Elba. Say it with me, brother.
It's your Oprah.
No.
You know what?
baby.
Forget it.
Yo, so that the black British dude, my British pops. Like, nevertheless though, I really think that we already had it beginning this year. But now a lot of people's getting sick because a lot of people do get sick in general around this time.
No, you're right. You're
So,
right.
I think that we already had it. Like, I already had it at some point earlier this year, but now I healed from it because, I ain't gonna tell no one my business, but, yo, I was, like, sick earlier this year. Like, I was kind of sick, but I still had to push it through. I had a stuffy nose and all of that. But shout out to my son, Dr. Sebi. I don't drink. milk, juice, soda. I make sure I drink lime water because it's good for the mucus, and I drink ginger. You see, that's what is destroying your system. It's the mucus that's in your system.
Yo, we are not turning this episode into a health episode. I see where you're going, brother, but we're gonna fast forward real quick because this motherfucker talk about Dr. Selby. He talk about controversy going on in the world. Nah, B.
Shit.
I'm just saying.
No, I think it's valid.
Yo, shout out to Vince Steele.
Okay.
Vince.
Hey, still.
I spoke to
Rocket Juggernaut.
Look, so
Joey Crook said it's an umbrella.
But it's crazy because when I spoke to my mom, so my mom's a pharmacist.
Shout out to moms.
And,
Shout out to Mama HR.
Okay. Mama. Oh, new nickname alert. Mama HR.
I'm gonna tell her that. But I spoke to her like last
watched the
week
podcast?
when my mom don't watch the podcast.
My mom watched the podcast every week.
Shout out to your mom because my mom is just my mom. She don't watch shit.
She watched on her little YouTube shit on her phone. Said, "Oh, new episode! You didn't send me the new episode."
Oh, that's
Hello,
so
mommy.
cute.
How you doing?
Oh, yeah. Don't be like Cuomo and don't call your mama and shit.
Yo, shout out to everybody that's watching right now. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. But no, but yeah. So I spoke to my mom.
Yo, the episode's out for the YouTube channel.
And what episode? 99.
I already put it
Oh,
up.
you're.
I edited it. I got some new. Actually, when it comes to like this year.
Can we talk about after, not on the show?
Oh, but
Yeah.
For the viewers, for the YouTube viewers, for the live stream, I got something in works.
Okay.
For the live
Big
stream,
dick status across the
for
board.
the live stream.
Wow.
I'm
Put
coming
your
up
dick
with
on the table.
two camera
do
angles
not
for the
put
live
your
stream.
Or put
on
your
the
big
table.
clit on the table.
Do not put your big clit on the table.
Big click alert.
Big clit alert.
Okay, the big say.
I'm mad we get to the 100th episode and you niggas go big clit alert.
Clit.
Now we.
You ain't say the T. Clits. Big clit alerts.
Big clit
You know that big old clit that be
you
coming out
guys are ignorant.
coming underneath the underneath the hood.
Niggas
That's a big old clit.
I can't.
That's a big old clit.
I can't deal. Now it's a remix. I can't. But no, as I was saying, so I spoke to my mom, and my mom's a pharmacist. She works in the hospital, so she just was like, they just do basic
Official
shit.
nasty nigga.
Like,
Leroy.
Leroy, hey.
Hey, shout out to nasty Leroy B. I fucks
He
with
out
nasty
here
Leroy.
with the videos heavy.
He's mad, and he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Oh, fuck
Shout
that.
out to my man.
Yo, you heard how
Nasty-
Nick Foles is now a Chicago Bears?
That's damn, son. Damn, son. He the one that took him out their last playoff game.
Yeah, so just
I mean,
random.
how about Tom Brady on the Buccaneers?
Oh, fuck that.
Not why you hating on my man Tommy?
Fuck that.
Tommy B.
No.
But you know what? It was a smart move in terms of like
Money-wise.
offense. But not
Money.
even just money.
No, because look, honestly, personally,
What kind of podcast we doing this?
we're doing all three
Yes, it
of
is.
our
Yeah,
brands
yeah.
in one
Personally-
episode.
personally, Tom Brady as a man, I respect what he started doing in the court and stuff like that, but he ain't beat my Giants. We beat them 2 times.
Hold on.
Twice.
Hold on. He did beat the Giants. Did beat him, but what about the Eagles?
Twice.
Brother? We beat them too.
Right.
So welcome
Eagles
to the
fly
club.
high. Eagles fly high.
Welcome to the club.
But nevertheless, I believe that
Big clit alert.
Yeah, I hope the Buccaneers pay him mad money because he deserves it, man.
He
I mean,
needs some
ain't
big
got
clit
that
money.
He literally
he
sacrificed his money over the
he-
years for 20 years for
He
the team to get better.
He needs a high amount for a low amount of years because, at the end of the day, niggas is
They
getting
should give him that
old.
LeBron contract.
Yeah.
Year by
Two
year.
and impossible.
Year by year.
What else is
Shout out to
NFL?
Ralph Reigns.
Shout out to Cherry for watching right now. Shout out
Yo,
to your
shout out to your
grandma.
grandma.
Grandma Jabba.
Grandma
Okay.
Jabba.
We're going all over the place right now.
Okay,
So
that's
let's
the Adderley crew.
let's ease into something.
Oh, well, as everyone knows, once again with the Rona going on, WrestleMania has been moved to the Performance Center. And everybody was, up
2
in
nights,
an
too.
uproar. But now they announced within the last 24 hours that it will be 2 nights. And actually they put the matches out for the 2 nights.
Read them out.
Let me pull them up. Did I snapshot it? Because I felt like I was going to send it to y'all. And I was like, no, let me hold it until we record.
Shout out to Iz.
So
what up, everybody? Thank you.
So
for
night
tuning in.
1, which would be Saturday, April.
Shout out to Turbo.
What day is that? April 4th.
Whoa,
What?
yo, Tampa Bay signed Todd Gurley.
Oh yeah, earlier.
They signed Todd Gurley.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting the pieces together for Tom.
No, but that's. Do you know how much weapons he has on
Yes.
wide receiver and tight end?
Yes, they're.
And then
putting
they got
the
Todd
pieces-
Gurley?
Yes, they're putting the pieces
Such
together.
championship status,
for
baby.
Tom.
Big clit
So,
energy.
therefore, their numbers
Right,
in
Mike?
Vegas are going all the way up, and they're one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. And you know what? It was smart for Tom because guess where the Super Bowl is next year? Tampa Bay. So he's trying to be the home team at the Super Bowl. Genius. But anyway, once again, Saturday, April 4th will be night 1 of WrestleMania, where you will have Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. You have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's title. You have AJ Styles versus Undertaker. You have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. So that's a jam-packed first night.
Night 1, right?
That's only night 1. Night 2 would be William Goldberg versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. You have Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's title. And you have John Cena versus The Fiend. And then you have Edge. Listen, you get what you get. Then you have Edge versus Randy Orton in the last man standing match. So I think the placement of all matches are actually pretty solid.
So we're going to your crib?
Yeah. First 10 people in for free. After that, $20 cover and hand sanitizer is a must. Hey, Leo. You scared the shit out of me, too, but I ain't moved. You bunch of bitches.
Get a chair. Ooh, nigga.
How black people get scared of somebody?
You said what?
How your black people got scared?
But did you see me flinch? Did you see me move? Exactly. Thank you.
I used to get beat when I was a kid. Shit, that's wild.
Look, you done made you scared him so bad he done drank. Leo, what's going on?
Talk to the mic.
Look at him. I hope you're not on the clock.
No, I'm off the clock. We just we finished working, and then we all. I mean, the person who was the last person to come back to the truck had to get a drink for the truck. So that was Henny.
Wow.
So we took Henny to the head.
Well, still drinking over here.
So yeah.
All right. Well, how's work going for you?
Yo, work is fun.
You know what? That is amazing.
Work is
You
fun.
getting money because you getting money out here. You got AirPods in
AirPods
your ears?
in your
You
ear?
getting money, B.
Oh, shit.
You getting money, Leo.
Oh, shit.
You
Make it
still-
a dollar.
You still don't clean your ears, though. That shit is
I'm
dirty.
dead.
Shit is dirty as hell, B.
I'm
But
dead.
ladies and gentlemen who's listening to the podcast right now, we have Dirty Dick Leo. He is making a grand appearance on our 100th episode. Welcome back, Dirty Dick Leo. We're giving you a shout out earlier about how you helped.
Who's giving me a shout out?
Yes,
Yeah.
bro.
So you
How
got to listen to the beginning.
How you helped us.
You
be
were
where we
a
are.
part of the foundation
You're a
of
part
the
of the
Jabba
foundation.
Tears
You gonna cry right now?
podcast.
I think you're gonna cry. You a bitch.
Don't cry. Oh, don't do that.
I don't.
Talking to Mike.
How you gonna grab him
I don't
up?
cry. I'm a real man.
Huh?
I'm a half and half man.
Wait, I
so
can't hear you.
I'm a half and half man.
Not
so I'm
you.
different. Oh.
Oh, yes, please.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's a little blazing hip hop and R&B. No one asked you to straight.
Yo, come inside. Come inside real quick.
It's very hot in here.
Say hi to the people. You come inside. Come on camera.
This is 100 episode, Joy.
100
Come on,
episode,
say
Joy.
hi.
We want to give a shout out to Gotham Podcast.
Yeah, thank
100
you for
episode.
still being open. We appreciate you. And no one told you to move that because now you got to move it back to where we all.
I'll go in there and fix it.
Thank you.
We can turn
This
the air
one.
on though. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to
Thank you,
do it
Joy.
right now.
Shout outs to Joy, looking like a snack as always.
She said, "Leo, she's off limits. Don't even look at her. Don't even look at her.
She's showing back for our team.
Yeah. No, deadass, she don't.
She don't.
Oh, she don't.
No, she don't.
Oh, she. She's vanilla. She's Italy right now.
No. It's not even. It's not even our.
Nigga, what?
Not even our group of people. But anyways, back to the show.
This nigga said.
Just sit right there, Leo.
She's what?
It made no damn sense. Sit right there, nigga.
Oh my god, that made zero sense.
All the white people in Italy, they dying right now.
Yeah, we're not talking about that though. We're not talking about that though. Before we get scrapped off there.
The nylon long sleeve shirt, and I'm wearing the long sleeve pants right now.
Oh, cause it's a little.
I'm wearing a hoodie. And
It could be a little. It was raining today.
Oh, we have a
so
special guest today
I was
too.
working in that rain too.
You was working in the rain, but that's good. Make sure. Okay, well, make sure you take care of yourself out here. Okay. Drop the packages 6 feet before the people even touch you.
No, I don't. I signed for them.
You signed for them.
Yeah.
So.
Because all right, I work in Chinatown.
Oh.
Like Chinatown on F line, like Chinatown to the water. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Chinatown
yeah.
to the water. I work right there. So
financial?
No.
No. Like
From,
by Canal.
You know East Broadway
And, like, Delancey
East
and all
Broadway
that.
down. And Delancey, all that shit. Like Eldridge, Orchard.
Yeah.
Ludlow. I do all those stops right there. So I'm in contact with many Asians. Like I got into an Asian fight today. Like this Spanish woman comes out the building on 160 Madison, and she's like, I'm tired of you Chinese people. Y'all made this shit. Y'all made this shit. She had
ignorance.
rage.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Chinese people didn't make this shit.
No.
They ain't make this shit.
No, we sure did.
No.
We know you were laughing.
We know where you're laughing.
Raid can and a lighter. She's like, get the fuck away from me.
Raid can. That's what we going
Chinese
with
people
this?
that make this shit. We love our Asian people.
Facts.
I love me some Asian
I
people.
love.
My days be jokes. Like, literally.
But you know what? As long as you are happy, how are the babies that aren't babies anymore?
No, there's still, I mean.
They're not babies. They're not infants, my nigga.
No, they're not infants no more. They're about to be 3.
Oh,
All right,
they
so
in toddler age.
so what else is
They
going
know
on?
the ABCs yet?
One of them is, but the other one is not.
Oh, okay. Well, teach one.
I'm not teaching them shit.
Why?
I don't have.
Lord, some things just don't change. Some things do not just change. But we do thank Leo for, once again being an intricate part in the Job of Tears podcast. From the beginning of us doing our pilot episode, at Legends to, transforming, and we were in Ripley's, and then now we're in the Gotham studio. So our journey, once again, really started with, Leo, and we thank you, and we're glad that I'm glad you came in here and scared the shit out of all of them, because that was funny. Did you know he was coming?
I told him to come.
Oh, okay. Why you ain't tell me he was coming? I spoke to this nigga earlier today.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I just finished telling you about the Hawaii shit.
See,
How'd you know Hawaii was really infected?
because they said all 50 states, my
I didn't think
nigga.
Hawaii they had 20 islands.
Yeah, but the main island of Hawaii is a part of, all of them is part of the United States. But that's why I sent you the article. I don't want you to be ignorant out here and not know.
Oh,
What's-
no, I know. Like, people get.
How far is Samoa from there?
So the island of Samoa?
It's on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
It's like in
It's
Samoa
like,
Island.
yeah.
They have their
It's
own
on the complete other side of the Pacific
Hawaii's
Ocean.
Hawaii.
Yeah. This nigga said Hawaii's Hawaii.
Hawaii is Hawaiian.
But as I was saying, WrestleMania once again will be over 2 nights. Which I think is pretty dope. I mean, everybody once again is like, "Oh my God, New Japan did it first," and blah blah blah. Like, God damn it, just be lucky we got something to look forward to. Like, God damn it.
Well, the thing is, the reason why they're doing 2 nights because nobody's gonna.
They can't have over 50 people.
Yeah, and they're trying to come up with something.
Like-
and I get it. New Japan did it first, but it's a whole different concept. It's a whole different reason why New Japan did it. Like,
What is there new in wrestling?
there's nothing new in wrestling.
Oh, wrestling's recycled.
Wrestling's
me.
always been recycled. That's one great fucking point, Mr. Black. The other thing is they had no choice. They had to figure something out
To ensure the safety of people. Like,
and ensure the safety of people. Like,
you know one thing I hate about wrestling that really irks me that people complain about is why do people get upset when they pick up WWE guys and then bring them to their promotion? Like, if you want to treat if you treat wrestling like real whatever, we don't complain if you bring in Tom Brady to your team. You don't go, we don't want no Tom Brady. We just accept the fact that, all right, it's Tom Brady. I want him on my team. I want him to win.
no, you know what my thing is? I think a lot of people get act that way.
Territorial.
No, it's not territorial. It's more about the fact that they're a bigger star in another promotion, and you like them now. You know what I mean?
That's like everybody that wasn't a Dean Ambrose fan is now a John Moxley fan.
Yeah. And granted, he is doing some things different. I'm still not a John Moxley fan. Never will be. I don't care if he's Dean Ambrose or John Moxley. I'm neither one of his fans. But you see like this bandwagon heavy of now everybody's a Brody Lee fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's that's my biggest issue because you weren't cheering for Jack Swagger when he was in WWE.
So your issue is this. Is you don't care, but you hate the fact that when someone else jumps another promotion, people want to dick ride them like a rodeo.
Yeah. Exactly. Because you were never a fan.
At the end of the day, you got to keep the same energy. Like, if you didn't like him, guess what? He's still gonna be this. He's still gonna do the same fucking moves, no matter where he gonna go.
But on the other hand, Barry and Marks, like sometimes, like I just think that he just be trolling. She be trolling for the likes. But he'd be the first one to complain. Oh, once again, they bring WWE talent into it. I see it this way. Yo,
Talking to the mic.
Like, if I was AEW and I see someone on the market like a John Moxley, right? And I'm starting out, and John Moxley has a notoriety. Listen, matter of fact, bump that point. Everybody on the roster been in WWE. From the Kenny to the Young Bucks
Oh, Kenny
to
hasn't.
Cody.
Bucks hasn't.
Huh?
Bucks hasn't. Kenny hasn't.
Yes,
Yes, he has.
Yes,
This
they
is
have.
what they almost signed, but they got in trouble because they quote unquote disrespected Booker T.
Yeah, they were both on. They were both on
Yeah,
WWE.
Kenny was there.
They were OVW.
Yeah.
Kenny was OVW.
Yeah.
OVW.
Yes, he was
Yes.
OVW. So everybody who was complaining, they bring in the WWE guy. It's like saying this way: you're like, what's the biggest? I work at Apple, right? And then you have a cell phone company. Let's say that how that is Ballman Express, right? You see me on the market. Oh, shoes from Apple. This side third. You know what? He brings some notoriety. I could bring him in to make sure that my company could get to the upper echelon. And everyone else who get fired from Apple, you may want to hire them, but they're gonna be all over the place because Apple is the biggest. So again, my point is this way. You cannot escape somebody from being from WWE ever because that's the biggest thing in town for so long.
Okay, so I get where Barry Smarks comes from with a lot of things. Sometimes he's trolling. I love the dude, but sometimes he's trolling.
Oldie.
I love the dude, but he has a great point sometimes. Because, hold on. I think it's because a lot of your top guys are former WWE guys. So when the fans, he's not talking about the company, he's talking about the fans for the company are like, oh my God, AEW is so much better, but your top guys are former WWE guys. No, but it's just how the fans are reacting. When they're reacting so hard for a company where they're former people, I have no issue with it. I love Cody. I think Cody's the best thing in that company, in my opinion. But when your top guys are former WWE guys and you're not pulling up non-former WWE guys, that's my issue with AEW sometimes.
Say a little louder for those in
because
the back.
you're not pulling up.
I gotta disagree with you on that one.
But how?
Yo, let me tell you how literally week after week I had the same conversation with the indie wrestler that I talk to all the time. And yes, Zuka.
Shout out to my nigga Zuka.
Wait a minute,
Zuka
Zuka?
King?
And
Zuka King.
Zuka King?
Zuka King. Zuka
Wait a
King.
minute.
Zuka King.
What's he
Zuka
like?
King. Zuka King.
No,
Zuka King.
you're
Zuka,
annoying
Zuka,
as
I know Zuka
fuck.
King. Like I think someone was talking about him the other day.
He's from the South, yeah. He's from Charleston.
Nah, he ain't African, but
anyway-
his name is Zuka King. Zuka
cannot stand
King.
for
My son
nothing.
Zuka, but Zuka Zoe.
No. Anyway, so
Shout
I
out to my
had
nigga
this
Zuka King.
conversation
With Zuka.
with Zuka all the time, like, yo. And I know sometimes Sunny Kiss be on AEW Dark, and I get that.
That's a beautiful young man right there.
Beautiful young man. Right
Honestly,
there.
it's probably one of the best clips, I think, of our entire 100 episodes
No.
of that moment.
Hold on.
We had the moments when he was yelling at us.
Shout out to Sonny
shout out
Kiss
how to act.
for being a beautiful man that he
But
is.
anyway, but
go
the
ahead.
example that Sir Wilkins was talking about, how they don't pull people up. There's no reason why I should only be able to see you on AEW Dark. Like, there's no reason why the only time I see you on national TV and basically the company sat here and was like, we're going to promote and we're going to push those up and coming. There's no reason why the only way I see you on national TV during the Rona is in the fucking audience being front row.
Okay. Grant that.
You're not using them.
Okay.
And that shit,
Okay.
and that's honestly
King.
my biggest grip with AEW is that you sat here and you promote diversity. Cool story. What other black man is on AEW Scorpio Sky? You promote
And Sunny Kiss.
and Sunny Kiss
And Big Swole.
and Swole.
Shout out to Big Swole and a segment on the Being Elite.
Absolutely love you, sis. But that's that, right? One hand. And then you sit here and you talk about over and over, we're going to, give people time to shine. We're going to give those up and coming, time to be on TV. Why was that the first time I've ever seen Sunny Kiss on TNT?
But you're right. I cannot even disagree with you on that one.
No.
But here, my POV on that one, right? Again, we are still in the early stages of development of this company. Yes, one of the biggest takeaway I have from AEW is the lack of brothers on there. You feel me? They should at least hired at least more brothers on the screen, and I felt that they would have made like a bigger impact if they say, yo, one of our biggest tag team is two brothers, shout out to Prolific. I'm sorry, the trio of Prolific, right there, three strong African brothers.
No,
doing their thing.
hold on.
Wait,
Hold on.
Wait,
No, just I'm gonna let you continue. You forgot about Private Party.
Oh, okay.
They're heavy. They're heavy.
Okay.
They're not
Okay.
But
heavy,
go ahead.
heavy
Go
on
ahead,
TV.
Mr. Black.
Whoa,
Go ahead,
whoa,
Mr.
whoa,
Black.
whoa, whoa,
No,
whoa,
hold on.
whoa,
There's a reason why. There's a reason why.
And that's cool,
and
but
we'll talk off.
But when you have a whole pay-per-view and one half of the team is in New York at an indie show, I feel like
But
You're right.
There's a
You're right.
problem.
But
There's a problem.
I will talk to you about that off.
I
That's
agree
cool,
with
that's
you.
fine.
I agree with you.
but that's still 5.
I agree with you.
One
But yet,
hand.
again, we don't know these individual contracts. We don't know if Sonny Kiss is actually dealing with an industry. Industry. Injury. We don't know that. And again, a lot of these guys, just like my son Marco's son said, is I didn't even know how to work television.
And that's the thing I want to go off on that point real quick, Mr. Black. By the way, Nyla Rose, you forgot Nyla Rose and you forgot Santana and Ortiz. But
okay,
that's still less than 10.
Hold on, wait.
Isn't she Spanish, not black?
No, she's black.
God.
She's part black.
The Spanish God, you know.
Oh my God, him singing last
Samuel-
night. Oh my
Samuel-
God,
You know.
Jesus.
But just to go off your point real quick, because
Meredith
this
is
is
better.
actually a really good conversation, is that you are right. There's not a lot of diversity on the screen per se, even though Lucha Bros are constantly on screen. They're constantly there. But it's difficult when your show is only one night. Your show is only one night and you have a full roster. Number two, I've said this numerous times, a lot of those guys, like you said, cannot work television. And then number three, they're not teaching a lot of these guys how to work television. There are rumors going around that they got yelled at by Chris Jericho for the way that they do their matches. There's an issue that they're having. They're trying to address because they are a new company. But out of all of those people we've mentioned, not one of them could be a top guy. Not one of them you can pull up to be your top guy. None of them have that talent.
Scorpio Sky. Like
Scorpio Sky does.
Scorpio
But
Sky
Okay. Fine. Let's count them off. We're counting like literally. I agree with you. Scorpio Sky could literally just branch off, still be a part of that clique.
it could be a part of SCU and
whatever. Do his thing. Boom.
Kazarian
boom.
and Christopher Daniels can have
boom.
the tag titles and he can have another
Scorpio
belt.
Sky, right? Y'all
That's
agree to be a
fine.
top guy, right? All right. Who else?
I mean,
Male
he's the
side.
only- but-
We're not going female side. Male side.
No, yeah, but to be honest, he's the only male like that could be a singles and a tag.
And so
And that's the problem.
no, but that isn't a problem. That
But then-
isn't a
But
problem.
then to sit there and say like, oh, people aren't TV ready, but then you have Jurassic Express on TV almost every other week,
But you got
and that don't translate well on TV.
They've gotten better.
better.
They've
But
gotten
you
way
know how
better.
they've gotten better because they've been able to be on TV and
But
do that.
It's it's the politics behind it. It's the politics. It's who they like. It's who they like.
And I'd rather you be honest and say that shit.
It's who they like.
Than sit
But-
there and what I feel
but-
like you're preventing people from also being, because there's some people that are signed that can still do indie shows and still do stuff like that. Then you have some people that are exclusive and cannot do that, and the only way they make money is being on TV. You know what I mean? So like it has to be. You have to find a balance. Like you can't just sit here and be like, well, they're not ready. Like you said, prepare them, make them ready. Like you guys have been in the business over 20 years.
No, but the thing about
Make
it,
them ready.
they don't have enough people on that roster to help them make them ready.
And that's the problem.
And then because I know everybody's gonna argue with me and say, well, you have Kenny on the roster, okay?
But Kenny got life.
Kenny got a life, and Kenny is trying to work a women's division that's just now getting its footing in.
Boy.
Because their first mistake was putting that title
on nobody that nobody knows.
And the thing is, that was a mistake because the reason why that was a mistake, I don't give a fuck how popular she was in Japan. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how big of a great relationship you guys had, how much history you guys had. And that match that she had with Shorty that looked like the guy from Bohemian Rhapsody?
Wow.
Damn.
No. That was her whole gimmick. It was a trash match. It was a trash match. Nyla should have had the title, but they wanted to try something new. And I get it. WWE makes mistakes all the time.
Right, that's just the business.
So I'm not knocking it, but AEW fans act like AEW is the most perfect form of wrestling ever to put on TV.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So basically, what I grasp from this conversation is this: is we understand the concept of it, but I think it's more on the fans.
3 minutes. We're
Yeah,
call, I guess.
that's fine. And I agree. I think once again, I'm all for people finding other things of wrestling. Like once again, you have AEW, you have MLW, you have NWA. Like you were like everybody is getting different things in wrestling, and what gravitates to one may not gravitate to the next. But don't sit here and just always try to shit on WWE without taking a look in the mirror and finding out and looking at what the fuck the flaws are of the shit you like. Because everybody got flaws. Like that shit just don't make no sense to me half the time. But that shit really gets to me about Sonny Kiss. You can talk about that shit all the time. I be like, yo, like where he at though? Like why he not on TV? But as Sir Wilkins said, once again, with our 100th episode, we actually were looking forward to doing our brunch, and then the city of New York decided to do, close all bars and restaurants and blase, blase, blase. But we still wanted to give our 100th episode a little surprise, besides Leo, because Leo was definitely a surprise. We wanted to give those that are watching and viewing. So I highly recommend those that are watching on the live feed on Instagram to please switch over to Facebook Live. It's the only way you're going to be able to hear our guests that we are going to call in. So please, right now, even though Facebook could be what it is, but please log on to Facebook Live and go on the Job of Tears podcast to be able to hear us talk to our special guest that we're going to call
introduce
in.
Him?
Yes, you might as well let those that are watching on the Instagram and on Facebook know who we are actually giving a call to.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna give a call to a good friend of mine. His name is Kaz. He's a former WWE writer. He still does stuff with WWE. Huh? He used to be on Flagrant 2, yes.
Fucking lying.
That's what excited. He's here.
And now we're going because this guy's so excited. We're gonna give a. We're gonna.
Excited.
Huh?
He's here?
No, we're gonna
No,
call
he's
him.
gonna call him.
We're gonna do him a call in. He used to be on Flagrant 2. He's worked with WWE. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Hello?
Hello, Kaz.
Hello.
Kaz,
Hey, what's going on, guys?
you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo,
Okay,
bro,
good.
thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you so much for celebrating our 100th episode with us. We appreciate you.
Oh, man, I got me in 100th episode, so I feel super duper special. All right.
Look, you got a fan next to us too.
So our former producer is a huge fan of yours.
Oh, wow.
Oh
Thanks.
wait,
What's
hold
his
on.
name?
His name is Leo.
What's good, Leo?
What's up, Kaz?
Yeah, he's a massive fan of yours, and he's also was a fan of when you were on Flagrant 2. So
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
How you holding up with the Rona going on?
Well, I didn't realize that my basic lifestyle qualified as just being quarantined all the time, so not much has changed. I mean, like, a lot of the stuff I do, I work from home if I'm not in the studio or, traveling, covering some event or something like that. Like, I just like staying home and being with my girl and my dog and chilling, bro. So just staying safe and just hoping this whole thing kind of blows over eventually.
I mean, it will.
Yeah, like at this point, you just got to be positive and take it day by day. And I think that's just what we're doing here in New York. It's just taking it day by day. But we wanted to, once again, give wrestling fans a reason to still be positive. So that's why we decided to do our episode. And, of course, we wanted to share this moment with you because, of course, Sir Wilkins talks very highly of you. But you love wrestling just like we do. So we always want to be able to pick other people's brains and, get their side and what they do for the wrestling community. Because, essentially, you've done a lot for the wrestling community. So you want to talk to the viewers and listeners.
He did more than live wrestling.
And
community.
then-
Put some more respect on this man's name. He made Bobby Lashley relevant.
He made Bobby.
What?
Yeah, Bobby Lashley.
Because
Still,
of him.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley
He
was Bobby Lashley.
He
You
should have
felt
probably
him.
still.
Whoa!
He probably should have
Come
still
on.
been.
So,
tagged with him.
Kaz, that's my brother speaking, Mr. Black, and he's a huge Bobby Lashley fan.
Huge, like it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
my guy, Big Bob, yo.
So, like Miss Janelle from HR said, tell people a little bit about yourself.
I mean, I've done a lot of things as far as media is concerned. So I was a former editor at The Source magazine for about 5 years. I was editor of hiphopwire.com. I'm the founder and creator of The Stash, which was a website and magazine. Now it is a sneaker store in San Francisco. I founded Wrestle Rap and coined the term as far as the wrestling and hip-hop community. I'm also a co-founder and organizer of Wale Mania, which happens every WrestleMania weekend. I used to be a editor at Bleacher Report. I've done work for Uninterrupted. I've also, and I guess this probably is the most pressing. I was a former creative writer for the WWE, so I used to write for Raw and SmackDown and 205 Live and a couple of other pay-per-views for about a year.
Man, the list keeps going on and on.
Yeah, and I used to go on a podcast called Flagrant too. So shout out.
Last but not least,
Yeah.
First things first, give me 3 of your favorite wrestlers. It could be current or past. Just off the top
Just
of the
off
head.
the dome.
Although my favorite wrestler of all time, I always have to give it to Dwayne, the Rock Johnson.
He said Dwayne like he knew, like he just had lunch with him. You know, me and
I
Dwayne.
try to call him Dwayne just because, you know, hopefully one day he'll acknowledge me as a peer. So I feel like if I call him The Rock, it would be a little more family. I'm just kidding. But I'm always a big fan of The Rock. I was a huge Rob Van Dam fan growing up.
Nice.
Wow.
And currently, my favorite wrestler to watch right now, oh boy, that's a tough question. There's a lot of people that I really enjoy, but somebody who probably just like makes me stop and watch their matches anytime I get a chance to right now is probably like Adam Cole. I mean, he's a guy who just, you know, he has like the whole package right now, just as far as like charisma, being able to captivate an audience with his words, puts on great matches. You know, I think he's dope.
You didn't say Johnny Gargano?
No, because no.
I mean, I like Johnny Gargano. Don't get me wrong. I think he puts on great matches, but I kind of feel like I know what I'm getting out of his matches every time I see him.
You're disrespectful.
'Cause,
No,
you
he's
know,
telling the truth.
You're disrespectful.
I mean,
Cass.
like, you know,
Come on.
how many times can you kick out of a super quadruple backflip pile driver,
Thank
you know, kick to the head type of thing, you know? Like, it's
okay.
dope. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's dope when it's, like, a match with your blood rival, Tommaso Ciampa, or something like that. But, like, when every takeover, that's how it goes, it kind of loses its luster. That's why I was, and another guy who's one of my all-time favorites, Finn Balor. That's why I love that their match.
So-
I love their match with
Okay.
that takeover because it wasn't none of that shit. Like he just straight up bludgeoned that motherfucker.
So
You know
Finn
what I
Balor,
mean? And,
a.k.a.
I
Loki
enjoyed
number 2?
Oh no, don't do it.
Finn Balor,
What you
Loki. I said Finn Balor, a.k.a. Loki number 2.
Oh Lord.
You know what? I fucks with Loki. I ain't gonna hold you. I fucks with Loki, but calling him Loki number 2, like, first off, just because a man does a double stomp doesn't mean he's got the same charisma, carries the same qualities as a wrestler, as you know, as safe. You know, like Finn to me is a total package, and he's just kind of a guy that just has, you know, if you watched NXT yesterday, you know, the package that they put on him just kind of encapsulated everything that makes him so dope. And, you know, calling him Loki number 2 is a little disrespectful.
No, it's not. No, listen, Kaz.
I like
Listen.
Loki. I like Loki.
I
a
love
lot.
Loki.
I mean,
We all do.
Come on, son.
No. I'm gonna
On the charisma side,
I'm
he
gonna
has
keep.
a
I'm
point.
gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck. You are right about the charisma, but I want my man, Finn Balor, to give Loki his roses, his flowers, B. Because Loki,
Just because of a double stomp?
nah, it's his whole style, B.
Oh, he needs
It's
some
his
flowers?
whole style. His
You know how
whole
many
style.
flowers? All right. If
Come
we're playing
on,
that
son.
game.
Come
listen,
on, son.
Wrestling is a game of you know, borrowing from the best and showing you the best.
So you're
and all
saying
that
Loki's
type
one of the
stuff.
best then? So Loki's one of the best.
At one point, yes. At one
Okay.
point,
I'll take that. I'll take that.
More-
I'll take that.
Listen, bro, like cool moves and stiff moves are great and everything, but like you gotta understand the reason why I could bang with Finn Balor over Low Key is that like I guess in my way in the art of pro wrestling, Low Key's a little too stiff for me, dude. Like I want it to look like it hurts without it really hurting. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you just love Finn Balor's
Balor's
six-pack.
one too many times where I feel like Low Key was really beating the dog shit out of this person. I'm like, all right, well this is a little different, but
I get
then
you.
there's an
That
art
makes
to what he
sense.
does, man. So
I get
that's why
you.
I like him.
I get you. I get where you're coming from.
I got a question for you, Kaz.
What's up?
So you have done television for WWE, and we all know that. Why you think certain wrestlers don't translate well on television?
I think there's numerous. I think there's numerous factors into why some guys don't translate well on TV, and you know, I think NXT and Full Sail gave a lot of wrestlers that we love a false sense of security because a lot of times you are performing in front of the same audience each and every week, and those are the diehards. Those are the guys you develop a relationship with. Those are guys that are following the stories each and every week. But when you go to the WWE, when you go to the big show, I mean, like, everyone's going to get a big reaction in Boston. Everyone's going to get a big reaction in New York. Everyone's going to get a big reaction in Chicago. It's what are you going to do when we're in Des Moines, Iowa? or Tulsa, Oklahoma, or somewhere that isn't a main city. There's A cities, there's B cities, and there's C cities, and those are certain people, and it's a select few people that get reactions wherever they go, which is why they are called superstars. And there's certain people that I was huge fans of that just didn't really connect. And on top of that, you gotta give credit to the system too, man. Like when it comes to WWE, you gotta understand that sometimes it's not everybody's turn to be the guy. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard thing for people to process. Perfect example right now, and I think AJ Styles spoke on this on Bump recently. And you look at a guy like Ricochet, you look at guys like Cedric Alexander, who are not just great friends of mine, but are two of the most talented wrestlers on the planet. I mean, you put those guys on any roster in the world, and they are main event guys. But, in the WWE, sometimes it's just not your turn. And you got to understand that, like, sometimes you just got to – that roster, I mean, especially right now, the roster is as brolic as it's ever been. Like, look at – perfect example, you look at The Undertaker right now, right? Last year, right now this year, he's in a program with AJ Styles and the OC. And last year, the OC couldn't even get on television. And those are guys that had, like, huge – I mean, when you talk about people that are talking about, oh, these guys are the best tag team in the world, these guys come highly, regarded, yada, yada, yada. Everybody in the world was fucking with Carl Anderson and motherfucking Big Luke Gallows. When they first dropped in. And, last year they couldn't get on TV. And now they're in a program with the fucking Undertaker. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get any bigger than that. When it comes to WrestleMania, if you're not wrestling for a title, if you're in a program with John Cena, The Rock, or The Undertaker, you're a made guy. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just about waiting your turn. And just because it's not happening for you now doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you in the future. And on top of that, right now, wrestling is in such a good space, there's people who don't need to necessarily wait on that. And you saw that in AEW last night with Matt Hardy. He feels like he's a caliber performer, so he can go somewhere and be that. You look at Brody Lee, a.k.a. Luke Harper, who I'm a huge fan of, who I just love as a guy, period. And, now he's going to AEW, and he's going to be the fucking guy over there. So, sometimes it's just not your turn at certain points. And, it's just you got to have to practice patience, and you have to practice. And just because it's not your time doesn't mean you stop working on your craft. Doesn't mean you don't stop doing things to try and get yourself sharp. So when you're ready, you're ready. You know what I mean? Like, look at guys like Zack Ryder, who probably never got a shot, and even pre-internet fame, and mind you, he is where he is now. But there was one point where he was hot as fish grease because of what he did to work in his craft when it wasn't his turn, and everybody gets a turn in the WWE. It doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what the storyline is. A lot of times you got to take your chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad. And it all really depends on the talent at the end of the day.
So I have a question, Love. You spoke about being one of the co-founders of Wally Mania, which, we attended last year, and I've had some friends attend and when Mania was in New Orleans. Do you want to speak about a little bit how that came about? Just so that, as fans, I think it's an amazing thing you guys have done, because it gives us fans, and it's not a racial thing, but it honestly gives us fans of color a place where we can combine our love of hip hop and music with wrestling. So how did that come about for you guys?
I mean, it's a long story, man. Me and Wale have been good friends for almost over 10 years now, and I consider him one of my best friends on the planet. And, it just comes in different forms of how Wale Mania was kind of born, man. Like, me and him have been to All-Star Weekends together. We've been to Super Bowls together. We've been to all types of big games together. But we're both big wrestling nerds at the end of the day, and we go to WrestleManias together. And there were certain times when we would go to, certain events, and, there just wouldn't be any sort of event similar to, when you go to All-Star Weekend and there's stuff that's going on around the event, the big game that has really nothing to do with basketball, but just, you get people around, you have a good time, you have fun, and that that enriches the culture of everything you do over there. Granted, there isn't a whole lot of, there wasn't a whole lot of spaces for black wrestling fans to really make really be comfortable, and don't get me wrong, that's not really how it started. It really started with Court Bauer, who is who heads MLW, and if you're fans of MJF or the Hart Foundation, those guys, he's the brainchild behind that promotion. And he was one of the first guys to really try and take Wale Mania first ideation to what it is now. And what it first was just pretty much ingratiating Wale and that hip-hop community into the wrestling community. And he did a fantastic job of that. I mean, one of the first guests of honor was, Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe and Ricochet and Conan and, all
Kofi
these
Kingston.
incredible talents. And, where I came in was, I always thought, like, WrestleMania is a party too, man. Like, it can't all just be graps and headlocks and belly to belly suplexes all weekend long. Like some especially the talent. You gotta understand, man. Like Wale's a guy who's around professional athletes all the time, and he even looks at these wrestlers like, yo, you guys need a fucking break sometimes. So a lot of times, that Thursday, we always make sure it's the first Thursday of WrestleMania weekend, because that's usually the time where a lot of talent flies in to the city, and they don't really have much to do that day. They don't really have their access, WWE access, obligations yet. A lot of other people probably don't have, their NXTs or any of those things. Thursday is usually an off day for a lot of the talent. So from all organizations, not just WWE, from, New Japan, TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW now. But, it was just kind of a place for the fans and the talent and musicians and just people who enjoy the culture and embrace the culture of professional wrestling to kind of take the load off and just have fun, man. So that's kind of where it started. And, just being a guy who's also been a part of Duce Palooza for a long time, I knew I could bring that element of a party to an event with a lot of, name talent, where they don't feel like, they're doing a walkthrough or, or just doing any of those type of things. They're coming to have fun too. So I make sure they're taken care of, the fans are taken care of, and it's a great experience. And I feel like New York last year was was the culmination of all that, because we had Kofi Mania running wild, and you had
the whole
for
city.
the first time in a long time a whole lot of black wrestlers of prominence, on TV, and we're in my home city. So, and I had just left the company maybe like a month before. So, a lot of these guys were still, it was easy to just hit them up and be like, yo, we're doing this tonight, pull up. So, like, a lot of the guys that were promoted still came, but a shit ton of people who were not, on the card, it was like, yo, Kaz, you doing this thing? I'm coming. So, like, Corey Graves pulls up, Big Joseph pulls up,
Chris Masters was there.
Crime Time, Chris Matthews.
MVP
Putting
was there.
people in the master lock. It's hilarious.
Yeah, like, it was just, man, and the great thing about it is, like, pro wrestlers are probably the most fun professional athletes to be around, because like they do not take themselves seriously at all. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those guys are just regular fucking dudes, and it's a lot of them, they just kind of want to have somewhere to go and have fun too. So it was really a great time, man. And granted, there won't be one in Tampa Bay this year, but we're gonna make sure that whenever things get back to normal, we will definitely restore the feeling, and especially with everything going on now.
Can you do it in New York,
I feel
though?
like it's going to be bigger than ever. What'd you say?
Can you do it in New York?
Well, maybe. I mean, it all depends on what we're doing with WWE, man. Like, it all kind of depends on.
I mean, wink, Survivor Series in Dallas. I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this though, man. Like, it's definitely something where the entire we want to embrace the entire city from where we're at. So if we do something in New York, it has to be something going on there. I mean, maybe there's a possibility we've discussed about doing something around SummerSlam in Boston. There's been many possibilities.
That'll be the only way you get me to Boston. I promise you.
Yeah, no, I mean, between that or Survivor Series. I know Survivor Series is in Atlanta this year too.
Oh, tune it up, city.
there's opportunities there because we look forward to doing this every single year, and it really is a bummer that we couldn't do it. So we're gonna figure out a way to make it right for the people, make it right for the hip hop community, wrestling community, and things of that nature.
Kaz, we have a few questions from our viewers.
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
My boy Izzy.
Shout out to Iz. He handles our Twitter account.
Handles our Twitter account. His question is, what do you think of these empty arena episodes so far? And how will the wrestling industry adjust and recalibrate despite these circumstances?
I say a lot of these empty arena episodes of TV, I think AEW did a really good job, albeit I'm a little wary about how safe it was to have that many people in the arena. But, I think it really speaks to a lot of the promo talent. You know what I mean? Like, I have a different scope on these things, especially when it comes to WWE stuff, because it just kind of reminds me of rehearsals. Like, when we were doing rehearsals, what you're watching on TV is what I used to watch every week. And you're seeing people like, Bray Wyatt, John Cena, Edge, Becky Lynch, Stone Cold Steve Austin, some of the best mic men in the entire company get their Mike women get their opportunity to really show what they can do, when there's no one around. And just as a viewer, it gives me a different perspective. It gives me a different way to kind of it gives me a different way to take in the content, and it's fun, man. Like it's. I've always said sometimes the worst part about wrestling is wrestling fans. So like being able to watch a show with an empty arena for a couple of months or weeks or however long it's going to be, it's kind of a welcome change. I'm not going to lie to you. There's no what chance. There's no crowds trying to get them over. It's like I'm watching a sitcom in a closed set studio.
Wow,
if you're looking at it like that, if you're looking at it like a straight up television show, you kind of get a different appreciation for it, man.
Yeah.
Like I'll be honest, I looked at Becky Lynch's promo that she just cut on Monday, and it was probably one of the best promos she's ever cut. And she's cut a lot of great promos, and Edge as well, and
Edge,
Bray Wyatt with the brooding sort of sinister way he spoke with John Cena. I think it was all like done very well, So it's a different way to kind of enjoy it, and especially with the circumstances going on right now in the world, you got to tip your hat to those guys and being able to go out performing these sort of circumstances.
The Rona.
Yeah, it's awesome. Another question is from Dwayne. Top 5 WrestleMania entrances to you.
Oh boy, I got 2 off top. In no particular order. The first 2 are at the same WrestleMania. WrestleMania, I want to say 27 in Atlanta, with The Miz and John Cena. John Cena came out to acquire in Atlanta with DMX, with the DMX's prayer in that video. If you've never seen that, go back and watch it. It was amazing.
I may have to go back and watch that tonight.
Which video? Which WrestleMania?
Hold on a minute. 27 with him and Miz.
And the Miz's entrance, my God, like it was. I always say the WWE production staff is some of the most talented in all of sports. But if you go back and watch that video where it's going back and forth with the Miz's life on reality TV to his professional wrestling life, and then they go into "Hate Me Now" by Nas.
I remember that. That was so. You don't remember that?
That was 27.
Yes, it was so fun.
27?
Because I didn't expect that. I didn't expect him to play that. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Because I heard the beat drop. And I'm hearing Nas like this.
Now I know what I'm watching tonight, guys.
Talking about it, he's like, I did whatever you said I couldn't do. I made it. Boom. You can hate me now.
Yeah, it is fire. It is. Y'all don't remember that?
No.
Boy, you got to pull that up. You got to pull that. That's a good one, Kaz. That's a good one, Kaz.
Off rip.
Oh,
Don't pull that
damn.
up. Another one of my favorite entrances, I want to say Triple H, WrestleMania 30.
Yes.
He comes out with the crown. NXT, Sasha, Charlotte, and Alexa Bliss are like the golden women on the side, kind of taking off his garb or whatever. And remember, it was the opening match of WrestleMania, like going up against Daniel Bryan. So, like, it was such a great tone setter for an all-time great WrestleMania.
That's the one I regret.
What's up?
So that's the one. That one, and it's a tie between that one and Santa Clara. The two WrestleManias I wish I would have went to, because I don't think personally I would have been able to handle the streak ending in front of me. But I think just being in the building, that would have meant something. And then Seth cashing in, I think I would have wished to have been there.
I was there, and I think I still have the video on my cell phone. It's one of the best fucking cell phone videos I've ever seen in my life. I also want to say it wasn't really a entrance per se, but I will say the Hardy Boys returning
in Orlando.
I remember that one.
I've never seen a stadium shake like that, but that stadium
it shook.
So when we do a viewing party for every pay-per-view, WWE pay-per-view, and we did one for Mania, shout out to Legends Bar, and this is a packed house, 300 to 400 wrestling fans in the bar, and when the Hardys came out, the place erupted.
But it's nothing on the level.
So the fact that you said the stadium shook, I can imagine, because the bar was shaking when they came out.
Oh no, the whole because I went to that. I was there for that one, and literally it was kind of like the rumor of the day. Like the Hardys were coming back. There was a car outside of their leg.
Yeah, because remember they were working.
Yeah, they were working. They worked ROH that weekend. And they dropped the titles. They worked ROH. I think it was that either the night before, and then they had a tailgate party, and me and my friends went to the tailgate, and my friends met Matt and Jeff and Reba and all of them there. And literally there was a car outside. It was a black SUV waiting for them outside of the tailgate. So we were all just like, yeah, we know what's up. But even in knowing what was going to go down, when I tell you that arena, like literally everything shook, because literally New Day came out and you were psyched because you were like, oh shit, is New Day going to wrestle? Okay, cool. And then no, when that music dropped, oh shit. It literally went, it was at the highest it could be. And then when Roman beat Taker, the whole stadium went quiet. Like it went from two differences all in a matter of a whole night. Like it was crazy. But I do agree, that stadium shaking, that's like you have to have been there to understand that.
Kaz, I got another question for you. Did you do 5 already? I think that was 4.
I think I did 4. I mean,
I got one more.
I'd go generic, and my 5th one's probably gonna be HBK at WrestleMania 12.
Yes!
When he came down the line.
That's an iconic moment, iconic entrance. Like they're gonna show that entrance until the end of time,
because it's one of the greatest entrances of all time.
Okay,
of course,
right.
Of course.
I'm a huge HBK fan. That man does nothing wrong.
Same. He's the one guy, and I'll tell you this: Shawn Michaels is the one guy when people say "Don't meet your heroes." They're not talking about Shawn Michaels. He's the fucking coolest dude.
Oh, really?
And it was so reassuring. Like,
have you met Dwayne?
Like, no, I mean, I haven't really got to talk to Dwayne like that. But I mean, when I was at WWE when they were doing Super Showdown, when him and Triple H fought the Brothers of Destruction. So they've had to cut a couple of promos at Raw. I didn't end up going to Saudi, but I got to hang with Shawn a few times during TV tapings, and he was super cool. He wasn't one of those old like bitter motherfuckers. He wasn't one of those old guys that were trying to like make you sound stupid, or like he was a teacher. He's a teacher. You know what I mean? Like he always wants to give knowledge and spread knowledge to everyone, especially if you're new, and especially if he doesn't really recognize you. So he always went out of his way to be really cool and kind. So maybe, I mean, whatever you heard about him in the past, like I'm sure he was probably an asshole back in the day, but
he found God.
He was super cool to me.
He found God.
Yeah.
He found God.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Kaz. I'm scared to meet The Rock.
Yeah.
Because I hold him such a high regard that I don't want to ruin that.
No, I hear you.
That's how I felt when I met Triple H, though. When I met Triple H, I was like, but he was so dope. Like him and Stephanie by far are like the dopest people I feel like in WWE, because I did the meet and greet. I think it was the last SummerSlam that was here in New York.
It was.
And I did the whole, because it was for Connor's Cure, and I did the meet and greet, and literally Stephanie McMahon. So like we have a T-shirt design. Like one of our original T-shirt designs is us imitating DX. So like where I was China and then the boys were Triple H and Shawn, and it's literally in the DX pose. And I wore the shirt to meet them because I was like, I want this picture to last forever and represent, our brand. And literally Stephanie McMahon looked at me and looked at Triple H and was like, do you not get it? Like, do you see her shirt? Like she recognized the shirt and recognized what it meant automatically. And I think that as that fear, as like a wrestling fan, this is who you grew up and you wanted to meet, and you're scared. Don't be scared. Like, it's gonna be a good moment. It's gonna be one of those moments.
I might cry if I meet The Rock. I ain't gonna lie to you. I might cry.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like I had a really rare experience in WWE where like a lot of people probably don't feel a way that about meeting certain folks, and a lot of people when they leave the company are a little bitter. But like most of the guys I got to work with over there were like super duper kind and like very helpful and very nice to me. Like
That's
Hunter
dope.
was super cool. Stephanie was really nice. Vince, me and Vince never really got into it. Like Paul Heyman was like, he was like almost like he went out of his way to make sure I knew shit because there were things that I just didn't know, and he saw that I had a hunger for learning. But like, things are happening so fast at TV. A lot of times they don't stop to just kind of teach you certain things, especially if you have like a good idea and good, focus. And Paul Heyman, I always sing his praises anytime people ask me. He went out of his way to sit me down at TV tapings to explain legitimately how a television show is created, and not just like, oh, do your segment. Like, no, he's teaching me how to like put a show together and why certain segments last this long and why we got to be over at this time because we have a commercial at this point, and how to handle certain talents and like where we have space for them to go ad lib or where we have space for them to stay on track and like all these other things that a lot of people just really didn't have the time to sit down and talk to me about, because it's one thing to have great ideas and it's one thing to talk in group meetings and stuff like that. It's a whole nother thing to know how to implement these things and get them on television. And Paul Heyman was a guy who absolutely made sure that I knew the ins and outs of these things. And to this day we have a great relationship. I spoke to him recently and we stay in contact, and he's a great guy. I love him.
Quick question. This is from one of our viewers and also part of the Jobbeteers network. He has a show called the Your Sports Show. Shout out to Big Baby Dre.
Big baby.
His question was, would you do creative for another company?
I've had opportunities too. I've gotten calls from people. But I don't think I would. I mean, I don't know. I think I would never say never to anything, man. Like, I feel like the right opportunity kind of has to present itself. And at the time I went to WWE, the opportunity presented itself in a way that I don't think I ever would have took in my past. But I mean, I've got lots of love for people in WWE, man. Those guys treated me really well. Even though, things didn't end the way I wanted them to end, that door has always been opened back up to me with World Wrestling Entertainment, from certain people, in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through cricket, whether it's through creative, whether it's through all those things, man. The door's always been open to go back there. AEW, I mean, I don't feel like they really have creative over there. I think it's kind of a thing where they're just kind of doing it by committee, and the executives over there kind of running things over there. A lot of good friends of mine have gone over to Impact recently, and Impact is doing some really great stuff.
I love
got
Impact.
Wacky Bob, who Bob Evans, who is another guy who really showed me the ropes over there. Bob Evans is a wrestling savant and a hilariously creative guy as well. He's somebody who has worked with everybody in wrestling as a wrestler and as a writer. And there's maybe, I mean, like, I had opportunities at Evolve at once upon a time to go over there. There's opportunities there, but like I said, I never say never to anything, and I just got to kind of wait and see, and maybe. I guess the answer is maybe.
I got another question from one of our viewers, Reggie Lopez. He asked the importance of diversity.
Damn, that was my question.
In wrestling as the performers, and also the authorities behind the scenes. How important do you think that is in
That's a
pro
good
wrestling
one.
right now and in the future?
I think diversity is extremely important in all forms of entertainment, not just professional wrestling. You know, not just in a way that you want people to watch the program, but even business-wise. It's just the best way to go about things, man. Like if you want to reach more people, if you want to be able to not just get the black dollar or get the female dollar or the Latino dollar. Like you got to understand that audience. You got to have people in those writers' rooms. You got to have people not just in the writers' rooms, but people that are making decisions that are looking for the best. To not put any sort of race or gender or sexual orientation in a bad light, because at the end of the day, pro wrestling is all about telling stories.
True.
And if you're telling these stories and you're not coming from a place of, if you're not coming from a place of genuineness, it's going to come out flat and you're going to end up losing money. And not just losing money, you're going to end up losing credibility. So, when I was over there, I was the only black writer on the squad, but, my voice carried a lot, if I thought something was a little tone deaf, I would let it be known. And, they would listen to me because at the end of the day, I want to put out a good product and I don't want people to get, their ass put to the fire for something that they didn't know was insensitive. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times it's just, it's just a lot of ignorance. And that's not any of their faults. It's not a lot of people's faults, but, it's all about communication. A guy I talk to all the time to this day is Corey Graves. And Corey Graves is a guy who is, a lot of times we don't agree about a lot of shit, but, we talk it out and we hear each other. And, we always come to a common ground where it's like, oh, wow, look at us. We can actually talk about shit without trying to, hit each other over the head or call somebody, try to cancel somebody or say they're this or that or whatever. A lot of times some people just don't know. They just don't know. So diversity is extremely important. I think the WWE has done a really good job recently of putting people of color on, in important stages. And even AEW, man, I always say AEW is a little too white for me sometimes, but
We spoke about that earlier.
But you can't knock what they've done with Nyla Rose. You can't knock what they've done with Brandy. I wish, I think Awesome Kong might be hurt or something, but
She's
Scorpio
doing, from
Sky,
what I heard, she was she's recording Glow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So that's why she got taken off.
And that's the thing, when it comes to pro wrestling, I'm glad that people aren't just putting it in the back burner right now. I know Jake the Snake Roberts made some news today or a few days ago talking about, how rampant racism, blatant racism was in the WWE.
Wow.
And it's a true thing, but we're in a time and place, man, where you're the Babe Ruth of WWE is Hulk Hogan, right? And there's no avoiding that elephant in the room. But at the same time, man, a lot of times you got to take the certain positions like guys like the New Day take, where yeah, we can acknowledge that you've apologized, and yeah, we can acknowledge that you feel like you made a mistake, but we can also just be like, all right, cool, and just move on with it. You know what I mean? We don't have to embrace you like we used to. We don't have to be, all up on our faces and like that, like you used to. And granted, people make mistakes. I'll never be somebody who wants to execute somebody for, saying something fucked up or doing something fucked up, no matter how fucked up it is. But at the same time, I don't need to really fuck with you that much. You know what I mean? I can forgive you, but it doesn't mean I'm going to forget it. You know what I'm saying? But, that's just me. I know I'm just one person, and people may feel otherwise, but that's how I always felt.
But Rosenberg said this a while ago, and this is one of the few times I've agreed with Rosenberg when it came to wrestling. He said something about Hogan, which was it was perfect. I think Hogan's time is past. Where the OG GOAT now in the business is Austin and The Rock.
Oh yeah,
Where,
absolutely. I mean, you got to understand, fucking Hulk Hogan, man. If you try to explain Hulk Hogan to a pro wrestling fan now, I'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Exactly. Like this is the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so new generation of fans. The greatest wrestler of all time is The Rock or Ric Flair, because they're still relevant to this day. Like, there's not a lot like say your prayers, eat your vitamins. Like that's not. That's not 2020. The Rock and Ric Flair haven't wrestled matches in years, but they're still extremely relevant. Stone Cold Steve Austin, still extremely relevant. And, say what you want about Hulk Hogan, the biggest boom period in wrestling history happened when Austin and The Rock were on top. The only thing is Ric Flair he's one of those rare occurrences where, he's gotten more popular with age. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's almost like a walking meme. You know what I mean? So, like, and even John Cena, you know what I mean? Like, John Cena's getting there where, like, people probably don't even remember a single wrestling match from him. But they just know he's a fucking walking meme. And that's what made him more relevant now than he has as a professional wrestler. So, yeah, man. You ever see that stand-up with Dave Chappelle? I think it was Dave Chappelle or somebody when he was like, I think it was Bill Burr. Bill Burr, when he was talking about how, you ever try to, do you think, I think it was the guy from Duck Dynasty. It was like, oh, man, the guy from Duck Dynasty, he said some really transphobic things. And it was like, yeah, what the fuck did you think he thought? all he's done is kill ducks and became a millionaire off it. And then you stick a mic in his hand, in his face, and ask him what he thinks about, transgender people. True. What the fuck do you think he thought, man? He's a fucking dinosaur. He's a prehistoric being, and Hulk Hogan's kind of in the same boat. You know what I mean? And granted, he's gone above and beyond to try and try is the operative word to make amends for what he said and done. But at the end of the day, it's like who really fucking cares? Like what's done is done. You know what I mean? Like even if that never happened, I don't even think Hulk Hogan is still as revered as The Rock is. He's still not as revered as Ric Flair is. He's not as revered as Stone Cold is. Like, even just like match-wise, you know what I mean? Like, in any way, shape, or form, he's not as big as he's not a big box office draw as The Rock. He's not as big as a wrestling draw as Stone Cold Steve Austin or Ric Flair. And, pop culture-wise, he just hasn't translated into the new century. So, I mean, it is what it is. He's the Babe Ruth of wrestling. So, you give him his props, but that's where it stops.
So,
J-line.
Bars.
I got a question for you. So, okay, do you think that them bringing a lot of these older guys, such as the Jake the Snakes, the manager that works with the Perfect 10. What's his guy's name?
Tully.
Tully Blanchard.
Having the Arn Anderson, even WWE bringing back Goldberg. What do you think? What are some of the pros of bringing back some of these classic wrestlers?
I think some of the pros of bringing back a guy like Goldberg is that he puts asses in the seats. Like, no matter what you think about his work rates or, the type of quality of matches that he puts on, like, Goldberg's a guy who sells tickets. And, if you need a guy that's going to sell tickets to WrestleMania, you could do a lot worse than Bill Goldberg. So, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his matches. I mean,
neither am I.
As a wrestling fan is concerned, but I think he's hilarious. Like, I love the fact that I just think he's hilarious. Like, when I first saw him coming back to fight the Fiend for the Universal Championship and just knowing how internet fans react, I was like, please, God, please let him just squash the Fiend and just let people just cry. Like, it would make my life, because he's probably got the greatest wrestling life of all time, man. Like, when you really break it down, like, the guy kind of came in.
I mean,
think about it. Only thing about it that a better wrestling life. Who's had a better wrestling life than Bill Goldberg, yo?
Brock Lesnar.
No, but William Goldberg had it easy. Like, he literally was no trainer. He literally was going on Nitro, jackknife powerbombing people, literally 2.5 seconds, and then leave.
He has the rocket strapped to him on day one.
That is true.
Doesn't lose a match for 2 years.
Just to lose,
but what he did to Bret Hart. But what he did to Bret Hart,
you got zapped.
But that would forever be on his record. Like when he basically ended a guy career who never injured nobody in the ring.
But hold on. Wait.
That's a little bump in the road.
Wait.
He ended the guy's career. He couldn't wrestle no more. That's not a bump.
Hold on.
We don't talk about someone with Joe on the show.
Exactly.
Hold on. Wait. I'll give it to you. That Goldberg had the easiest. Second easiest is Brock.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, man, because Brock. Here's the thing: Brock can at least work. You know what I mean, like when it comes right down to it, like he's legitimate in the ring.
Oh no, I'm not taking that away.
The reason why he's such a good draw, the reason why he's such a good act when it comes to professional wrestling, because when you break it down, yes, he is the NCAA heavyweight champion of the world. Yes, he was the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Yes, he was undefeated in Division I wrestling. Like, at the end of the day, like, you go back and watch his matches with Kurt Angle. Go back and watch his matches with Seth Rollins and John Cena. At the end of the day, the motherfucker can work. You know what I mean? Like, when you really think AJ Styles, Finn Balor, like, he can work.
I'm not taking that away, though. I'm not taking that away.
But he's a better worker than William Goldberg.
Well, we all know that. But when it comes down to it, Brock literally dominated WWE for 2 years.
And dipped.
Then comes back, like, almost 10 years later and said, all right, give me a championship.
Look, it was efficient.
But he earned it. He earned it.
He deserved it.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He deserved it.
Yes, he did. And so does William.
He left the company.
William does not.
He did the rare thing of leaving WWE and becoming a bigger star outside of WWE than without it. Like, he did what, you know, we were hoping CM Punk would have done, which is leave the company, you know, become like a bona fide ass kicker. And at the end of the day, you know,
we still talk about that?
I love CM Punk. I love Cult of Personality. I love all the quips. I think he's one of the greatest mic men in the ring. But at the end of the day, he can't fight.
No, he can't
fucking fight.
Brock
Lesnar, at the end of the day, can really fucking fight.
Oh, Brock,
and
give it
if
to you.
you're selling a story about people who can fight, you need people who I believe can fight. I don't need to suspend my disbelief when it comes to Brock Lesnar. I know when it goes down, he can really whip somebody's ass, and that's why you pay to watch him, because there's always that little thing of like, yo, he really might fuck around and kill somebody if he feels like it. You know what I mean? Like, there's always that shred of unpredictability that comes with Brock Lesnar that makes him such an enjoyable watch to me. So, say what you want about William Goldberg. I think he's had the best wrestling life, and Brock Lesnar might be a close second, but at the end of the day, the motherfucker can work. He's believable, and he's earned the right to be a guy that can just come in, take a title, whip ass, and leave, because he is legit, period.
You know when I knew Brock was like the man? Because I always believed it was the man. But my wrestling coach, he's not a fan of nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a massive fan of the Brock.
Wrestling coach. Tell the world.
No, there's no need for that.
No, there's no need for that.
When he was just like, yo, he said the same exact thing that we all basically saying, is that Brock legitimizes wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the.
I told you. I've said this for years. I said this 2 years ago. I said Brock Lesnar is a first ballot, surefire Hall of Famer.
Oh, no doubt.
No question asked. No question asked.
One of the greatest to ever do it, because at the end of the day, pro wrestling is all about how long can I suspend my disbelief to enjoy this scripted ballet, this scripted violent ballet. And nobody in the world makes it more legitimate than that dude right there.
And
from day one, he's come in and everything changed. It's a rare when a guy comes in day one and the whole industry is changed. Never, I don't think he was ever not in the main event picture. Like, there's certain people that when you come in, you are a main eventer. The only time he was like sort of not a main eventer and not fighting for the title is if he's having one of those showcase matches with like a Hulk Hogan or a Goldberg or Ric Flair or these type of guys. Like, this motherfucker is the guy who keeps wrestling. He gives wrestling its credibility.
I agree.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're if you're Spike Dudley or Bobby Lashley. When you get in the ring with Brock Lesnar, you're gonna get hurt. I don't care how much of a you know, I don't care how skeptical you are of professional wrestling. After you watch Brock Lesnar, you're like, okay, all that stuff is fake, but that motherfucker, that dude is legit.
I got a question. Since you work with Bobby Lashley, what the hell is the reason why Brock and Bobby Lashley have not been paired up? Please give me some insight about it, because I'm hungry for it. I wanted him, Bobby Lashley in a Lions Den match.
Oh, Lord.
Why has this not happened? Please tell me. Because Bobby Lashley is legitimately a beast. You know that. Brock is, like you've been pumping him up, is a beast. So what's up?
As a guy who's been around Bobby Lashley for probably my entire WWE career and most of his returns to the company, I've been around Bobby when he's angry, and you wouldn't like him when he's angry, and then you're reminded, like, oh shit, this guy can really kill somebody. And that's the best thing about guys like him. He's legitimate. That being said, when it comes to the Brock and Bobby match, I just think opportunity hasn't presented itself yet, man. I just think, when it comes to Bobby, I love Bobby. Like, Bobby's a very good friend, a great guy. Still talk to him here and there to this day. I just think there's still that missing connection with the crowd and Bobby that hasn't been there yet, that can catapult him into a program with Brock Lesnar. And I think that's been done purposely. I think they haven't crossed paths for that exact reason. I think they haven't, even had a stare down for that exact reason, because they know that there's money there. They know that there's something there. But for some reason, there's just always been that disconnect with the crowd and Bobby for some reason. And, granted, he was the shit in Impact Wrestling. He was the shit in Strikeforce. But I guarantee you the moment, and it was almost there. For a strange reason, it was almost there with the Lana shit, because he was getting booed out the building. And, we just got to find that connection with Bobby Lashley and the crowd. And once that's done, I promise you, before Brock's run is over, that Bobby and Brock match will happen in the pay-per-view. I don't know when. I just think, in my personal opinion, that connection with the crowd just needs to fucking happen with Bobby. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what kind of storyline it's going to take. I don't know if he just has to go away for a while for people to miss him. I don't know. I think people take Bobby Lashley for granted. I think people take a guy that talented, that athletic, that well-spoken for granted. And I feel like maybe he just kind of needs to go away for a minute. Maybe they have to have maybe a great storyline needs to come across the table that puts Bobby on the collision course with Brock. Who knows? One thing that kind of might be a little stop-start right now is if you've seen the storyline that they've been building with Bobby Lashley before coronavirus kind of shut down production, they were showing that he was angry, and it was always mentioned that he missed his opportunity against Brock in commentary. And they never say anything in commentary by accident. All that stuff is on purpose. All those stuff, everything that's said on commentary is fed in through people at headset, and it's always said on purpose. So it's there to keep a little nugget of information in the back of the viewer's head, right? And, granted, we probably thought, and I guess conventional wisdom is to think that Drew McIntyre is probably going over Brock for the WWE title. I think there's a collision course there with Drew and Bobby. I think there's a collision course there with Drew and Jinder. I think maybe there's a time where Bobby's the champion and Brock's the challenger. I don't know. But there's got to be a story there. There's got to be stuff built there. And then once it's done, I'm telling you that there's a lot of money being left on the table without a Brock and Bobby match.
Okay. There you go.
We got to go soon, so I know you got to go as well.
I wanted to ask one last
question. We got two more questions.
Okay, cool.
One is going to be from me, and one is going to be from Miss HR. My question is, you've seen people come and go in the company, in wrestling in general. One question I want to hear, one question I got for you is that, who do you think is the next big star, in your opinion? If you can pick one person.
The next big star.
Who has that it?
Who has that it factor?
It's a tie. It's a toss-up. Toss-up between, if we're talking, a three-way tie. If we're talking about immediately, like rocket strap, package, ready to go, superstar, crossover guy, probably Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is there right now. And it's rare that sometimes, it all just kind of comes together for somebody. And it's all kind of coming together for Drew right now. But looking a little bit deeper into the crystal ball, I would say the next big star in pro wrestling is Matt Riddle.
And, thank you.
And God, and Adam Page, man, like I've become a big fan of Adam Page recently. I
Love them
really
both.
thought he was the Michelle Williams of the Elite for a long time, and now the motherfucker wants to be Beyonce, bro. Like he's been showing out. I love his promos. I love his character. I think he's got a great combination of speed, skill, and strength. I love that buckshot lariat. I think his tag team with Kenny Omega is really interesting, and the story is really interesting. I think he's dope. Matt Riddle as well. I think Matt Riddle's got the look. I think that whole laid back. I always said if Rob Van Dam and Kurt Angle had a baby, he'd be Matt Riddle, and that's a guy that motherfuckers would love to watch. See, and just as far as the personality is concerned, I think Velveteen Dream. I think the world is his, man. And I've been saying that for years, dude. He's a guy that just has it all, and when you talk about motherfuckers that just have it, he's got it. You know what I mean? So you can't really explain it, but you know it when you see it. And Velveteen Dream has it.
So last question before we do say our farewells. What was the biggest lesson you learned working at WWE? Because as fans, we don't get to see, behind the scenes interactions, but you lived it. That was your life. So what's one of the biggest lessons you walked out of working for WWE?
Never let the boss outwork you. And say what you want about him. Nobody works harder than Vince McMahon. This dude's a fucking psycho. I'll tell you, like work ethic wise, like he's a guy who's in the gym every day. He's the same steak and eggs and steak and potatoes every day. Like he will. I truly think it's his dying wish to like do this until he dies. Like that motherfucker works his ass off, and just seeing him and his work ethic, man, and Hunter's as well. The best thing I've learned is, throughout whatever you want to do, hard work and dedication, you're going to get it. You just have to, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times where it seems like there's a lot of darkness. There's going to be times where you feel like things aren't going the way you want it to go. And, you can't change up. You can't switch up your work ethic. You can't, work less. You got to do it more. And, everything that I've learned from that company and being around those people is that, hard work isn't just done with your hands and your feet. A lot of it is done with your mind as well. So you got to